You cannot heal in the same place that's making you sick. Sometimes you have to take the step before knowing what's next. If the fear of the unknown has caused you to be double minded and therefore stuck where you are, then stick around because this is for you. Welcome to the second episode of Going Where I Am Grace. Think of it as my digital journal. I am Aisha, a writer and founder of Purpose Tapestry, which is a publishing firm that specializes in nonfiction books with themes of faith, purpose, and travel. As a publisher, I not only help women write their stories in their books, but also in the pages of their lives. Today, we're talking about making sound decisions, even when the outcome is a little unclear. Now, picture this. It's 2024. I just landed on the beautiful island of Crete, Greece, specifically Hania, and I'm looking forward to 8 days of experiencing the island life. In my last video, I mentioned that I moved to Greece for a few months. So this was the tail end of my Greece experience. I was looking forward to spending much time in Old Town by the harbor, and I got to do some of that the first day. That night, I felt really sick. My throat burned, my chest felt tight, I was coughing, I started to feel a little feverish, and I just thought, okay, the seasons are changing. Um, Maybe my body is just adjusting. As the days progressed, I felt worse. This thing was not letting up. Now, when it came to day 4, I just didn't have it in me. I stayed in bed that whole day until nighttime, where I was like, okay, I need food. I walked to the restaurant and I decided that I was going to sit in that restaurant and eat versus taking it back home, just because I just needed to be out the house. Like I needed fresh air. I needed to be around people as well. On my way back to the studio, I did one of these. Fresh air. Then it dawned on me, I think I cracked the code. So I continued back onto the apartment building with maybe 3 to 4 units. And as soon as I opened the main entrance, a whiff of cigarette smoke hit me. And my epiphany that I just had a couple of minutes ago was confirmed. It is the cigarette smoke. People are smoking below me. I'm sure the people above me are smoking. The people who stayed in this Airbnb, when I walked in, it did smell kind of smokish. I started doing some research and learned about third-hand smoke. I know about secondhand smoke, but I didn't even think about third-hand smoke. Third-hand smoke occurs when tobacco smoke leaves residual nicotine and other chemicals on indoor surfaces like walls, furniture, the floor. It can pass through vents, HVAC systems, etc., etc. It lingers in the air even after it's cleared. And then there was also a study that said smokers who recently quit, that residue remained in their homes up to 6 months, right? So this is all the proof that I need. I mean, clearly I couldn't do any type of investigation to get that solid evidence, but I knew that this place was making me sick because every time that I leave, I feel a little better. But then when I come in, it gets worse. So I had a decision to make. Option 1 was to stay in that Airbnb and just stick out the remaining 4 days. Or option 2, go to a hotel in the morning. I didn't see any availability online. I was not doing another Airbnb because at the end of the day, I didn't want to end up in a similar situation. So I had to make a decision based off of faith. I was like, you cannot stay another 4 days. You're not even enjoying yourself. How could you? You can barely function. As soon as I resolved to do that, I heard in my spirit, you cannot heal in the same place that's making you sick. And that was my confirmation right there. Regardless of what tomorrow held, I cannot stay here. Regardless of even me not knowing if I would find accommodations, I have to move in faith. I'm leaving this place, and tomorrow we're going to pack our things. You're going to walk to the hotel that you originally planned to stay. I didn't mention this before, but when I was in Athens and I was planning my trip to Crete, I was initially looking at this particular hotel. It looked beautiful. It was up to my standards. Loved it. Honestly, that was my first choice. Then I thought like, oh, maybe I'll do an Airbnb. Ended up finding one which was around the same price range. And I was like, okay, like this is nice. Let's get I guess, the authentic experience. You can possibly cook while you're there. I did not cook and had no desire to cook, honestly. But that was my thought process. So I ended up just going with Airbnb. But here we are. So anyway, I had this particular hotel in mind. I didn't see any availability. However, I'm the type of person I'm going to ask anyway. I need to speak to a person. I don't care what it says online. I need to speak to a person and hear it from that person. So that night, I drafted my message to my Airbnb host. I wrote it as if I had already left because I planned to send it to him in the morning. Did not want to waste that time drafting and kind of craft my message. No, that was taken care of the night before. I said, hey, this is the situation. I can't stay here anymore. I threw out the garbage. I ran down the checkout checklist. The keys are on the table. I'm requesting a refund for the nights that I'm not staying here. Next morning, I did everything that I had written in that letter. I left and then I sent it to him. I didn't want to leave room for, oh, let's make it right. And now I'm second guessing what I originally wanted to do. I didn't want to leave room for negotiation. It just is what it is. Now, there was no guarantee that I'll even get that money back. I still requested it anyway. But the cancellation policy was pretty strict. It's something that I agreed to. So, whatever. Rolled my luggage half a mile, probably a little bit more, to the hotel. And I asked them, hey, do you have any rooms available? I need a room for these next 4 days. She said, I don't think so. But she looked. Do you know what this receptionist told me? She said, you are lucky because we have one room available. There was an American ship that came in that night, and all the rooms are booked up on the island. All the rooms in this particular hotel was booked up, but this one room was left. This one room was left for me. You cannot tell me that this room was not left for me. And not only was it a room, it was a suite. It was perfect. Are you kidding me? I handed her my credit card, locked the room in, checked into the room. And do you know, as soon as I checked into this room, the Airbnb host messaged me. He said, oh, this is unusual, blah, blah, blah. However, I am going to, override the cancellation policy and refund you for the days that you aren't staying there. Okay, well, thank you, God. Like, I was so grateful because the amount that I paid for the hotel pretty much equaled my refund for those remaining 4 nights. So I was just glad that I didn't blow my budget. But either way, my health is way more important than all of that. Um, but it just worked out. The fact that one, I had to make that decision. I didn't know if there was going to be rooms available online. When I looked online, it didn't seem like anything was available. But I had to make that decision. I knew I couldn't stay in the environment that I was in because it was making me sick. And I had to be decisive. I couldn't go back and forth anymore. Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? No, you're making a decision to go and you'll figure it out. When you make that decision, everything else will shift to align and adjust with that decision that you made. When you're double minded, you're just stuck in limbo, in confusion, and just stuck. Really, just shoot. I told you last day I laid in bed sick and only got up because I needed to eat. So, and once I moved, I got up and moved. I didn't leave room for negotiation with the host. I didn't leave room for him to say, oh, let's make it right. Let's check it out. I'm out. I'm gone. And then I showed up in the place that I felt like I needed to be. Out of all the places that I saw on the island, like this is the one that felt right. I went there and lo and behold, there was a room for me. I didn't have to wait for them to clean it. I didn't have to wait for them to get it ready and to check. It was prepared already before I even arrived on the scene. Why am I sharing this story? I'm sharing this story because many times you're not going to know what waits ahead of you. You're not going to see things move for you until you make that decision to leave wherever you are. Whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a place, whether it's even leaving a certain mindset, right? Whatever that thing is, you have to take that first step without even knowing how it's going to work out. You know it's going to work out, but you just don't know how, right? At the end of the day, I was going to have a roof over my head. I didn't know which roof, but I had to sleep somewhere, right? So I knew some way, somehow, something had to shake. So I'm here to encourage you, whatever decision that you're delaying in making, whatever action you're procrastinating to take, just do it. just do it. You have to, I'm encouraging you to walk in faith. What is faith? Hebrews 11:1 defines faith as, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the convictions of things not seen. You have to be convicted in the things that you don't see. You have to be convicted that it's going to work out. You have to be convicted that even though you're leaving a comfortable situation, whatever you're stepping into next, it's going to work out because it's aligned with where you're supposed to be. It's aligned with who you're becoming. It's aligned with the task that God has given you. It's aligned with your purpose. And guess what? When you make decisions aligned with your purpose and you take faith led action, a room is going to be prepared for you. It is literally going to be ready and waiting for you. Whatever that room is, it's already prepared for you. I don't care if a major ship just pulled in and everywhere is booked up on the island. All you need is one room. All you need is one room. And not just any room, it's a suite, right? Don't remain in the same situation that you're in longer than you need to, because remember, that thing is making you sick. Over the years, I've spoken to a lot of people who are resisting their calling because they're afraid of the sacrifice that it requires. They're afraid of the faith because it requires too much faith and courage on their part. They don't know what the path looks like. They're afraid to let go of whatever they have to let go of in order to attain that thing and walk in their purpose. That place that they're stuck in is also making them sick. They're depressed, they're sad, they're anxious, they are living in a constant state of confusion. They don't feel fulfilled. They're in this state of existing, but not really living and feeling alive. Just like the message I received, you cannot stay in the same place that's making you sick. You cannot stay in the same place that's making you sick. Take the leap of faith. You've got this. God's got you. He's prepared a room for you. I'm rooting for you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.